So we're Fellowship of the Diesel, and we're running for Newcastle Medical Society this year. And we've just come to tell you a little bit about the Medical Society, the election, what to expect in Newcastle when you move up, things like housing, etc. And it just so happens there happens to be an election on, funny that. So first of all, what does MedSoc do? Well, the main thing MedSoc does at the minute is it runs a free bar for its members on Fridays, where you can take it in turns to queue up and collect 2 pints of lager, cider, or more commonly diesel, so both with a bit of blackcurrant, and collect 2 pints at a time. It's a really great chance to have a really cheap creek before going out on a night on the town on Friday, and it's also a great time to meet and chat with people from different years. So I learned a lot about base units by talking to last year's committee, who were really lovely. MedSoc also organises an annual ball in winter. So this year it was held in the Gateshead in Hilton, and just really great fun. And you just see in the corner our idiot president photobombing the photo booth. Just so much fun. But here you guys also have a ball. Equally well, MedSoc organises a lot of bar crawls. So most famously we had Metroline last week, which I know a lot of Durham students came along to, and just special campaign plug. Anna Surridge won our top prize by getting the red ticket. And there are also other bar crawls throughout the year, so I can't remember why, but we dressed up as nuns for that one. Just no idea. So MedSoc for lifetime membership is £93, and that is lifetime membership. And because so many people end up staying in the Newcastle trusts, we still get, say, junior doctors coming along on Metroline. And last year, I think one person put about 300 quid behind one of the bars. Just really good of them, and they often come and put money behind the bar of MedSoc. So, what else is there in Newcastle? Well, if clubbing's your thing, I know you guys have Clute, but we've also got a few things. So we've got digital, we've got liquid, we've got dirty pop, so bottom left corner, they have a massive bouncy castle and sort of fire eaters and all sorts of things. Tucked Up, obviously famous from Geordie Shore, and Throwback at the Union. A bit more niche, you've got obviously Flares is the same everywhere. And Basement, which is great after MedSoc, so 3 trebles for a £5, just don't touch any surface, you will get an infection. It's really grown down now, I'd really recommend it. There's also Sinners, which is famous for the cage, and you can often see our members sort of crammed in that cage, hogging it and pissing off the bouncers. So if clubbing isn't your thing, there are all sorts of other things to do around Newcastle. So, for example, there are a load of different cocktail bars, so this one's Vodka Rebs down by the station, it's in a converted bank, and it's just gorgeous. They do a great happy hour. There's also things like Lane 7, which is a really swanky bowling alley. They do great food, great cocktails. They've now got a crazy golf set and all sorts of table games and that. There's also Quilliam Brothers, which is a tea house right next to the Student Union. And they're just absolutely lovely in there. They've got a cinema in the bottom of the place, which they host sort of niche films. They also helped create a treasure hunt for one of my housemates' proposals last year, or actually this year. So where would you be living if you're in Newcastle? Well, what is actually meant to be up there is a big map of Jesmond, just showing that the average rent is between about 60 to 90 quid. So further up away from the city centre, around Ilford Road Metro, it's about 75, that's where me and Michael live. In the centre of West Jesmond, where Yaz lives, it's about 82, and some of the nicer places go to about 90. And all the housing is a bit like this, so rows of terrace houses going from quite luxury to absolutely squalid, depending on how much you want to spend and how close to the centre you want to be. People choose to live in Jesmond because it's along a great metro route, really connected to the centre, and it's sandwiched between the RBI and the Med School and the Freeman, which makes commuting for Time Trust really easy. There's also some great little businesses, so there's loads of coffee shops like Heaton Perth in Heaton. As You Like It, which our team managed to get a really good discount for, which we'll advertise in a couple of weeks. They do fantastic cocktails. Sorry, there's a theme here. There's Double R, which is like Asian fusion, which is delicious. And obviously the Fat Hippo, who do just the absolute best burgers, and they've got all sorts of small outlets opening up all over Newcastle. Just one of our favourites. So why else would you want to live in Jesmond and Heaton? Well, I think the natural beauty of it speaks for itself, if not the housing. So you've got Jesmond Dean and Heaton Park, which are great for going on a picnic on, going for a run-in, absolutely filled with dogs. There's still crafted waterfalls, and there's even a petting zoo in Jesmond Dean. And equally well, especially in 4th year when you'll be commuting between where you're living and med school, there's nothing better than going across the town more and getting to weave around the cows. You know, it makes a 9 o'clock actually worth going to. So I think I'll just hand over to Michael, and he'll give you a bit of a chat about the other societies in Newcastle.
Hi guys, my name is Michael Goodfellow. I'm running for Secretary at MedSoc with Fellowship of the Diesel. So just to give you a lowdown on the societies, we've got the societies that Newcastle Union provides, which are your standard sports societies, and there's also quite a good sort of niche, not medics only societies, but medic focused societies. So you've got Newcastle University Surgical Society, you've got Teddy Bear Hospital, where you go into nurseries and kids bring in their teddy bears, and then you like perform examinations on their teddy bears and teach them about like hand washing and stuff, and it's very cute. The societies I'm going to unashamedly plug to you because I'm part of them. My favourite one is Sexpression, so that's that one there. Basically what we do in Sexpression is we go into schools and teach kids between the age of year 7 and year 11 about sex education and puberty. Really rewarding work, and it really does make a difference. We've got Wilderness Medics there, we've got Marrow. We've also got SKIP, which is Students for Kids International Project, where you go across to a rural third world country or less economically developed country for a month, and you teach health interventions in English. As part of that, I'm heading over to Cambodia this summer. We also have the Newcastle Medics and Dentists Society. They're called Double D, and they like look after both of us. They organise several events. So they do cheese and wine events, which are really nice, really classy. And they also do the halfway ball. So at the end of third year, after everyone's like done their exams and stuff, they organise a big ball for all the dentists and medics. We all come together, have a nice sit-down meal, and it's brilliant. So just like some sort of info on our elections now. 20th, that was meet the teams. We had to do lots of challenges against the other teams. It was pretty disgusting. On the 17th, we do our own takeover night, where we basically run a MedSoc how we'd want to run it. On the 24th, we've got Hustings, which is where we show a 20-minute video trying to convince people to vote for us. After that event, the voting then opens, and on the 1st of May, we get the results, and if we win, have to do the initiations. So I suppose this section sort of the why should people vote for us, what do we want to do differently. So the main sort of thing we noticed about MedSoc at the minute is that it's very drinking orientated. We want to open that up and branch out to the other students who don't drink so much. One of the ways we sort of do this is through outdoor activities like paintballing. We've got current discounts at several paintballing sites in the northeast and several outdoor centres as well. And if we get elected, we're really hoping to use those to put on like a day trip out to those places. We're hoping to do an end-of-year trip to Flamingo Land because I really love theme parks. Flamingo Land's brilliant. That there's Kumali. It's absolutely so much fun. We also want to do like beach parties during the summer months, like an end-of-term thing. Get some volleyball, get some barbecues on the go. There's also a really good surf scene at Tynemouth, so if anyone's into surfing, it's all good. One of the things we're also really pushing for is better integration with DUQC with Newcastle. Yeah, and see you smiling. The way we're hoping to do this, we've got ideas for a joint Durham and Newcastle socials, where what we're hoping to do is all of us head into Durham, the DUQC bunch dressed in purple, the Newcastle bunch dressed in blue, and we do a giant college bar crawl and really try and integrate through that. The other things we've done, I mentioned to some of the members earlier, I'm MBBS school rep up in Newcastle, and as part of that role I have to attend the Newcastle University Students' Union. I recently put a motion to them trying to get them to fund coaches from Newcastle down to DUQC for certain conferences. I heard about the Careers Conference. Unfortunately, it wasn't advertised to us this year, and I only found out about it afterwards when I came down to do an ethical debate as part of the IME sessions. And I thought it sounded like a really good idea, and I was a bit gutted that we weren't told about it. So I sort of took it on myself to go to the NUSU and say, if this event was run again, would we be able to get transport put on so we could go down and visit it? And the motion passed 57% for, so the NUSU have to do it. Another thing, sort of again targeting DUQC members, we realise £93 is like it's a lot of money for like a one-off payment, especially if for the first 2 or 3 years you're not going to be in Newcastle to sort of get those benefits as much. So for example, attending the free bar would be like a lot difficult heading up like every week and stuff. So one of the things we'd like to do is we'd like to reduce membership costs for DUQC. At the minute, we're not too sure of the finances, but we're definitely thinking in the range of 20, 30 quid, possibly even more, but we'll just have to see if we get in. So yeah, we really, we hope you, if you follow us on Facebook, our character's Vernon the Grey. Do you have lectures by Brian Vernon at all? Does he ever come down? Well, he's a brilliant lad. He's allowed us to use him for our Facebook campaign. So yeah, follow Vernon the Grey on Facebook. Alternatively, you can find our page. It's FOD for MedSoc 1516. On there, when we publish our manifesto, you'll find it. You'll also find a range of all the discounts that we've got for you so far. And yeah, thanks very much, guys. Does anyone have any questions?